More often than not, when researchers set about writing a paper, they spend the most time on the meat of the article, the methods, results, and discussion sections. Little thought goes into the title and abstract, while keywords get even lesser attention, often being typed out on the spot in a journal submission system. Ironically, these three elements, the title, abstract, and keywords, may well hold the key to publication success. A negligent or sloppy attitude towards these three vital elements in the research paper format would be almost equivalent to leaving the accessibility of the research paper up to chance and lucky guessing of target words, indirectly making the effort and time expended on the research and publication process almost null and void. It could be said that the keywords, title, and abstract operate in a system analogous to a chain reaction. Once the keywords have helped people find the research paper, and an effective title has successfully lassoed and drawn in the reader's attention, it is up to the abstract of the research paper to further trigger the reader's interest and maintain their curiosity. This functional advantage alone serves to make an abstract an indispensable component within the research paper format. The title, abstract, and keywords, why it is important to get them right. The title, abstract, and keywords play a pivotal role in the communication of research. Without them, most papers may never be read or even found by interested readers. Here's why. Most electronic search engines, databases, or journal websites will use the words found in your title and abstract, and your list of keywords to decide whether and when to display your paper to interested readers. Thus, these three elements enable the dissemination of your research. Without them, readers would not be able to find or cite your paper. The title and abstract are often the only parts of a paper that are freely available online. Hence, once readers find your paper, they will read through the title and abstract to determine whether or not to purchase a full copy of your paper/continue reading. Finally, the abstract is the first section of your paper that journal editors and reviewers read. While busy journal editors may use the abstract to decide whether to send a paper for peer review or reject it outright, reviewers will form their first impression about your paper on reading it. Given the critical role that these three elements play in helping readers access your research, it is important for you to know how to write effective titles and abstracts and choosing the right keywords. How to write a good title for a research paper. Journal websites and search engines use the words in research paper titles to categorize and display articles to interested readers, while readers use the title as the first step to determining whether or not to read an article. This is why it is important to know how to write a good title for a research paper. Good research paper titles, typically 10 to 12 words long, use descriptive terms and phrases that accurately highlight the core content of the paper, e.g., the species studied, the literary work evaluated, or the technology discussed. A good research paper title condenses the paper's content in a few words, captures the reader's attention, and differentiates the paper from other papers of the same subject area. Here are 2 basic tips to keep in mind while writing a title. First, keep it simple, brief, and attractive. The primary function of a title is to provide a precise summary of the paper's content. So, keep the title brief and clear. Use active verbs instead of complex noun-based phrases, and avoid unnecessary details. Moreover, a good title for a research paper is typically around 10 to 12 words long. A lengthy title may seem unfocused and take the reader's attention away from an important point. For example, avoid titles such as Drug XYZ has an effect of muscular contraction for an hour in human. Instead, use the title Drug XYZ induces muscular contraction in human. Second, use appropriate descriptive words. A good research paper title should contain keywords used in the manuscript and should define the nature of the study. Think about terms people would use to search for your study and include them in your title. For example, avoid titles such as Effects of Drug A on Schizophrenia Patients, Study of a Multicenter Mixed Group. Instead, use the title Psychosocial Effects of Drug A on Schizophrenia Patients, a multicenter randomized controlled trial. How to write a research paper abstract. The abstract is really essential to your paper, as people are often going to read just this one section. It should help the reader decide whether there is something in the body of the paper worth reading by providing a quick and accurate summary of the entire paper, explaining why the research was conducted, what the aims were, how these were met, and what the main findings were. Generally, between 100 and 300 words in length, abstracts are of different types: descriptive, informative, and structured. Descriptive abstracts, usually used in the social sciences and humanities, do not give specific information about methods and results. Informative abstracts are commonly used in the sciences and present information on the background, aim, methods, results, and conclusions. Structured abstracts are essentially informative abstracts divided into a series of headings, such as objective, method, results, and conclusion, are typically found in medical literature and clinical trial reports. To help you build the abstract, you can always refer to the MRCI framework as discussed before. The idea is to answer specific type of questions that are relevant for the structure of your paper. And more importantly, for the structure of your abstract. You can help yourself with a set of questions. Who are the intended readers? What did you do? Why did you do it? What happened when you did that? What do your results mean in practice and in theory? What are the key benefits for the readers? And what remains unsolved? These questions will definitively help you build your article, but more importantly, they're going to help you define, first, motivation of your article, then the results, contribution, and the implication of your own research. Knowing the intended readers is important, as depending on the journal, the abstract is going to be more or less specific. If you write for science, your abstract is not going to be specific at all, but very general, not going too deep in details. On the other hand, if you write for a specific journal, let's say the Journal of Organic Chemistry, you are going to write a more specific abstract, with a more explicit result and exemplification. How to choose appropriate keywords in a research paper. Journals, search engines, and indexing and abstracting services classify papers using keywords. Thus, an accurate list of keywords will ensure correct indexing and help showcase your research to interested groups. This in turn will increase the chances of your paper being cited. Here's how you can go about choosing the right keywords for your paper. Read through your paper and list down the terms or phrases that are used repeatedly in the text. Ensure that this list includes all your main key terms or phrases, and a few additional key phrases. Include variants of a term or phrase, such as kidney and renal, drug names, procedures, and etc. Include common abbreviations of terms, such as HIV. Now, refer to a common vocabulary or term list or indexing standard in your discipline, such as GeoRef, ERIC Thesaurus, PSYC Info, ChemWeb, Biases Search Guide, Mesh Thesaurus. And ensure that the terms you have used match those used in these resources. Finally, before you submit your article, type your keywords into a search engine and check if the results that show up match the subject of your paper. This will help you determine whether the keywords in your research paper are appropriate for the topic of your article. In summary, while it may be challenging to write effective titles and abstracts and to choose appropriate keywords, there is no denying the fact that it is definitely worth putting in extra time to get these right. After all, these three smallest segments of your paper have the potential to significantly impact your chances of getting published, read, and cited.